Hi there, this is David Fisher. I just wanted to give you a quick flyby look at the top producer market snapshot system, how well it can save you time, increase conversion. Just a couple buttons here off the mobile that I want to show you. This will look way cooler on your mobile device, but right now it's just on the desktop. I'll show you the desktop version as well, but I know most realtors will spend a lot of their time on a tablet or on a smartphone. Just a couple quick buttons I'll show you. One is if you are getting online leads coming in. It doesn't matter the online lead source. It could be off of social media, but we'll actually tie into that, and there'll be a clock that is ticking up. You'll get an alert on your phone. Your phone will buzz, and you can actually take a look at this and say, oh, wow, I have a lead here. And there'll be a clock that shows how long that lead has been sitting there without you personally taking action. Now, we will automate everything that needs to be automated or that can be, like a text message, a market snapshot, I'll show you what that is, and an email. But all we ask you to do is make a phone call. When you make a phone call, when you're done with it, you can send a text message as well. We'll prompt you if the call was successful. I'm going to keep this new just for demo purposes, but it will slide from new to engaged. If once you engage with them, it turns off that auto text so they don't get redundancy on the text. Then you can leave a note. You can verbally leave a note by hitting the microphone button on your phone, and then you can schedule a follow-up, and we can sync it with Gmail and Outlook as well, which means that through that we can sync it to any other calendar online that you might have. So we do sync emails, calendar, and events and things like that with those sources, as well as contacts. Very simple to use. As you can see, you just basically walk through the steps. If you're adding a contact, it's just like adding somebody in your phone. We just have some more categories to fill in so you can figure out what type of contact they are, where they're in the buying process, what kind of buying preferences they might have. And then when you save it, that'll sync in with your Google contacts or your Outlook contacts as well. When you're taking action on anybody, it's the same thing. You can send a call, send a text message, an email, send out a market snapshot. Again, I'll show you what that is. When you're done with that, it prompts you to the next screen where, again, you leave those notes. So we always take you there on any action that you take. Now, we will alert you where the lead source came in from, the most recent activity that's happened with the contact, as well as all of the notes historically with the contact that you have in here. So with the click of a button, if you're wondering why Sophie's calling you, you can figure out all of that information at a glance. We will also give you all of the appointments and marketing materials and things like that that have been sent out. And we'll also, and this is another unique thing that we do, because we connect with your MLS, if Sophie's calling you and says, I want you to list my house, enter the MLS ID number, and all of the to-dos are going to show up that have to show up here. And then we'll also give her any referrals, that spider web that you have of people that are connected with other people and how you're building your business. All of this syncs in with your calendar. So again, those listing to-dos, when Sophie says, I want you to list my house, all of the things like call the home inspector, get the sign, all of that you know way more than I do on what you have to do. But all that's going to automatically show up here. You don't have to manually put that in and try and remember it, which I know is hard if you're juggling multiple listings and closings. It's all just going to show up. If you need us to also house the actual documents, the zip forms, the cutting and splicing, the e-signatures, we can do that as well. This just gives you the dates, but we have a transaction management program that can handle all the paperwork side of it, and I won't go into detail on that here, but we do have that as a really simple little add-on. One of the nice things that we do that's very unique is we have this thing called a follow-up coach. And all the follow-up coaches, it gives you 5 people a day that are not active, meaning they might fall through the cracks. It could be a new lead you can't get a hold of, a past client, somebody in your sphere of influence that hasn't done business with you yet. They're categorized by different color. Don't worry about that now. You set that up in like 3 minutes, so it's very simple. But if you want to talk to a past client like Brittany and you want to bring up past clients every 90 days for them to show up on the follow-up coach, every 90 days, Brittany's going to show up. You're prompted to take some action. Phone call's always the best, but whatever works for you. Leave any notes. If Brittany says, great, let's do coffee, you can schedule a follow-up. If not, save it. 90 days later, she's going to show up again. 5 people 5 times a day is 300 people a quarter that you're reaching out and touching that otherwise you may not, which means they might fall through the cracks, because most people now, even when they just start thinking about buying or selling a home, they might hop online before they call you first, and then that opens up the door for other realtors to give them a call. This helps you stay connected with them. This pairs very nicely with our market snapshot, and the market snapshot is 100% trackable. Here's Jerry. She has a market snapshot. She hasn't opened it yet, so we're going to give you a reminder. When they open it, you get an email alert that they've just opened it. You'll get that right away. I'll show you what the snapshot looks like, so that makes a little bit more sense to you. But the snapshot is a hyper-customizable, interactive report that will go out to the consumers. My screen share is a little bit smaller. This goes down a little farther than what you see here. But when they get this snapshot, they're actually going to get an interactive map, and they're also going to get all of the details of what's going on within their search criteria, which can be hyper-customizable. You have buyers who are looking at several neighborhoods, maybe between $300,000 and $400,000. They're looking at 3-bedroom houses. They're not really sure on school districts or anything like that. We'll provide all of this information for them, but it could be a fairly wide search. They're getting a full report once a week with an alert every time there's a price change or a new house for sale. On the other hand, and I'll show you what this looks like on the map, you might have a seller that only wants to track what's going on in their gated community, their 4-bedroom home with the pool in the backyard and the finished basement and the detached garage, and they only want to compare very specific apples to very specific apples. As a result, they might get a fairly small report. Maybe they only want to get it every 90 days, but now they can automatically see all of the sold data that has gone out. You don't have to manually do that anymore. Now, as soon as you put somebody in a house, or as soon as you have that somebody in that sphere of influence that hasn't done business with you yet, hey, you know what, why don't I just send you a monthly report, track the market. If you have any questions, let me know. Maybe they get a quarterly report, but if their neighbor sells their house, they're going to get an alert on that specific house right away. And the alerts will look something like either the new sale, the price change, or the sold alerts will look something like this. It will have all the pictures on the MLS. My demo just has one. It will provide all of the MLS information, all of the property details, the schools nearby, the school ratings and the school sizes, and also everything that's going on in the neighborhood, so they can see everything that is within a 15-minute walk if they want to. They can check out the nearest coffee shops in the area. They can drive down the streets via Google Maps and check everything out. So it makes it very simple to use. They get a 360-degree view of the entire neighborhood. You might have a young family that's coming in. They have a 3-year-old, and they want to make sure that they're in a good school, but there's a park and a coffee shop nearby. Well, they can actually find all this stuff out themselves. And you're there and you're branded on everything. So with any questions, with a touch of a button, they call you or they can send you an email. But what's cool is when they open it, you also get an alert, so maybe you can call them first. It just gives you the ability to stay on top of your consumers and help you strategize who you want to talk to based on what they're opening, how often they're opening it. Are they changing the frequency from once a quarter to once a week? Because then you know something has changed in their life and you might want to give them a call. We also do I won't show you all this, but we also do outreach with this with landing pages, with social media, sign-in pages for open houses, so people can get these reports really from anywhere. You can grab new leads, new possible listers, new possible buyers just by doing some outreach with this, and it's very simple. We'll show you how. But the main thing is no matter who gets this, we want to make sure you're converting, and this has an open rate or a click-through rate. This industry-wide click-through rate is under 2%. That means somebody opens an email and then they click on whatever information you're prompting them to see on that email. 100 people get that email. Under 2 people will actually click through. That's on a traditional drip campaign email. The Market Snapshot has an 18% click-through rate, so it's 9 times higher than what you're doing with a traditional email because it's relevant information and you're prompted to engage them in conversation. And we'll show you obviously how to do all that. Now, I'll show you the desktop really quickly as well. Very similar to the mobile. There is more stuff. It is designed to run your entire business. So we can link into social media here. We can link into all of your marketing. If you're doing traditional marketing like postcards and flyers, we can do presentations that you can build through here, anything that you need. It's just a step-by-step process. It's very simple, but we will train you and show you how. Here's your business with your calendars and your listings and your closing to-dos. Here's your follow-up coach. By the way, on your emails and your print media as well, those traditional drip campaigns, because we still do those as well as the postcards and things like that that you might send out, we'll warn you before they get sent out so you can go in and make any changes. We'll also give you important dates that are coming up, like birthdays, anniversaries. We'll let you know a week ahead of time, so if you want to stick a card in the mail that you can do that. You've got your Rolodex here. You can dive into every contact, see everything that you need to know about that contact, who the referrals are, where their properties are, what history has taken place, what marketing materials and notes you've had. It's all there for you. I just don't want to spend a lot of time on a video going through all that. It's very simple. The main thing with this is that we're going to train you and make sure that it's going to be useful. We're the #1 system for a reason, but we want to keep you around. We're not expecting you to spend 4 hours in front of a computer trying to figure it out. So we'll actually divide everything up into little micro lessons. This is one level. We also have personal coaches. But if you just want to go in online, you can actually watch a video that's, I'm sure, under 2 minutes. Yeah, this one's only 38 seconds to show you how to do the next step. You're waiting for an appointment to come? Do the next step, and then, oh, I still got time. Let me do the next step. This one probably takes you 5 minutes to do, maybe 10, and then you're done. So as you walk through these steps, though, we also have personal coaches. It's completely free. We're just going to be able to help you and coach you and train you, because our goal is within 2 weeks this becomes habit. The number one compliment we get is how much easier this makes realtors' lives, which means it frees up your time, and it also frees up your brain space, so you can have that conversation because you have that energy with that person who's serving your food or that person who's standing in line next to you at the grocery store. That's what we want to do, is make sure that you're successful as a realtor, because we know you're going to keep us forever, as most people do. We're going to help you with all the training. If you have any questions, let me know. My contact information is back on the email, and we'll be in touch. Thank you so much.